Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode. I'm Danny, and this is Drinking with the Ginger. Today, I have with me a very good friend of mine, Devin. How you doing, man?
I'm doing very well, buddy. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Anytime.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this.
I'm pumped. I'm just waiting for that. Go ahead and crack open the beer and let's start drinking thing.
Absolutely. Let's start drinking. So go ahead and crack yours.
Yeah, listen in, ladies and gents. What am I drinking, Danny?
I believe you have the Modern Times Dynamics. I don't know. When I got that the first time, there's only one word on that whole can.
Cheers. It smells good.
Cheers, man.
Right on.
How do you like yours?
Not bad.
It's a San Diego beer. That's why I suggested it.
Yeah, I like the colors of it. The can, it's mostly black, but the blue and gold is very, very San Diego-esque.
That does fit in with their teams. Tonight I'm drinking it's called the Brown Note. It's made by Against the Grain Brewery, and it's got a picture of a super hairy dude with tattoos everywhere, and it looks like he shit his pants and he's holding a roll of toilet paper.
You have one toilet here that's about to get demolished later on, I suppose.
I hope that's not what this is signifying, but there's always a chance. Trying to figure out what... Oh, all right, there we go. It's a brown ale.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, probably. Dude's underwear is brown, so let's go with it.
Good luck.
Tastes pretty good. So before we started, we were talking about you're doing the commentating for CSM Baseball.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Been doing that for, I think, 6 years now.
Damn, it's been that long?
It's been that long, yeah. That's
wow.
a lot of games, and I do every home game.
And you started as an intern, right?
Right, yeah. I started out in my communications class. My teacher stopped one day and just asked me, why aren't you in radio? And I didn't have a good answer for that. And then he's like, I'll set you up an internship. Sure enough, did the internship, liked it. They asked me back the second year to keep doing it. Probably because they didn't have anybody else for it, honestly. And I probably wasn't that good the first year. But then they asked me back the second year, did the second year, and then they started paying me the third year.
Right,
and so on and so forth.
So you got 2 years of internship pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. I didn't get any credit for the second year of it.
Oh, okay.
For an internship class necessarily. So it was just kind of
like volunteer work.
Exactly, volunteer work. And then the third year on, they started paying me, and it's a very small sliver of a junior college athletic budget.
Yeah.
But it's the thought is more than anything. I would definitely still do it for free, but the thought is nice, and especially for how far I drive, it's definitely just gas money.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, man, that's where Bryce Harper started.
His jersey is out there in right center field. We see it all the time. Not many shots hit out to right center field that actually go and touch that. But every now and then I'll shout it out when I see it or when I see something go that way. It's a lot of fun. And then I've been doing softball for the past 3 years. I dabbled early on with it, mostly because it was not on site. But since they built a new softball field right next to baseball, it's a lot easier to do both. So I do both.
Right on. Were they playing? Because that's over by. Is it Basic or is that Foothill?
Foothill, literally across the street from Foothill on College Drive, right off 215.
Was softball playing at Foothill before they got it, or did they just not have a team?
Stephanie Lynn Park, I think is what it's called. It's right off of like Russell and kind of towards UNLV. It's like when you exit the 95 and Russell right there. When you head towards
okay.
It's those first softball fields right there on the right.
The ones with those big ass statues.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they're right there, and it was all right, but it was a public field and it wasn't homey. So they dumped a couple $1 million and built them a brand new stadium, turf. It's nice.
Turf field outside?
Yeah. It's sick. It's great because you don't have to maintain it. It's always there because like in baseball, you have to redo the field after every game, especially the mound.
I bet that field's hot as shit in the summertime.
Thankfully, we really don't get to that point in the summertime. It usually ends like mid to late April. Right and then they're on the road more often than not because we haven't been lucky enough to host the tournament. We haven't won as many games as necessary to get to that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice though. It's really nice. If anything, the hard part is other teams come from out of state that play on grass or dirt, and then that ball skips off the
Oh
rubber
yeah,
a
it
lot
reacts
faster.
way different.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's kind of cool. But baseball's a gym, and baseball's a lot of fun. And softball's great too. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But baseball is awesome. They're number 6 in the country right now.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Now, I've always wondered, I've never actually looked into this. Do they only play junior colleges, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
They don't play like any super low like Division 3 or anything.
No, they play like a Division 2 team, like
warm-ups?
South Mountain. Yeah, but South Mountain has a great baseball program. I'm sure they're just Division 2. If they haven't already tried to be Division 1, I don't know their whole story behind it.
Yeah.
I would imagine. I know attendance factors into it, school attendance. So maybe that's why they don't have those attendance numbers to be Division 1. That's just me spitballing. I genuinely have no idea, but they're an amazing Division 2 team that always crush. But we play them pretty often as like a tone setter, and we always play like the top 10 teams in the nation. Like we played Sanjak, and they were number 2 at the time. We played them. We lost to them 2-1. But in the same sense, we play all these teams. And actually, this whole weekend, I did 10 games in 8 days.
God, that's rough.
It was rough, but it was a lot of fun. The voice was pretty much gone after that.
Oh, I bet.
But
But
we
you have
played-
another job on top of that, so it's double the work.
Exactly. I'm talking at my job all day, and then I'm talking at the field pretty much all night.
Yeah.
And we played Okanagan College from Kelowna, Canada, and then as well as Prairie Baseball Academy from Canada as well. And they are both the number 1 teams in their respective conferences up there. They have both won. And then there's 2 different or maybe several different conferences, but they play in different ones. But they always end up meeting in like what is their like overall championship series.
Yeah.
And they've always traded. Like Okanagan won last year. 2 years ago it was Prairie. 3 years ago it was Prairie. So they're always number 1 and number 2 at the end of it all.
Right
We
on.
played them this past week, and it was really competitive.
Right on.
It was
I'm
cool.
surprised to hear that they're playing colleges from other countries.
Yeah.
Granted, it is Canada,
Yeah.
so it's not that far.
They've
It's
been
not
coming down for the past 6 years since I've been there. They've always come down these preseason tournaments. They always come down here, and they're always very cordial and very cool.
Well, they're Canadian.
Exactly, but in the same sense, we beat them because there's a totally different level. I mean, granted, they're awesome, and they have a lot of talent, especially their pitching's come around as of late. But in the same sense, we do have a lot more tools than them, and so we end up beating them 9 out of 10 times.
Right on.
But they are really good, and I'm actually very curious to see them go forward because the teams they brought down this year seem to be a lot better than what they've had before.
Right on.
And if anything, those teams are like, especially Okanagan, they're 4-year colleges, and so they're playing
And
2 years too.
It's still considered a community college, or is that just like a university up there?
It's a university, but in the same sense, I'm assuming they play us just because the level of play is almost equivalent.
Oh, okay.
Because there's no way they could go play UNLV and they would just get the brakes beat off of them. You
don't really
more
hear
often
about,
than not.
You don't really hear about baseball in Canada.
Yeah,
other than
exactly.
the pros.
Exactly. And so they're 4-year guys. So those guys have been there all 4 years, and they get better every single year. And so now that we've seen a lot of them become seniors, they're much more competitive as of late, and it's cool. And like I said, they're very, very cool when we play both anthems before the games and stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
You should ask them next time to bring you some real Canadian syrup down.
Dude, seriously, that's not a bad idea. I'd like that.
We could trade like in and out.
Yeah. And then I've always been curious to see what would happen if we went up there and played them. Because we play them down at the Den, is what we call Lead Field at Moore Stadium. And we have like a home record of like 90%, if not like
Yeah,
higher.
because CSN's normally like they're very good every year, right?
Especially at home. More often than not, we're just dominant. We call it Morse magic, and they somehow, some way, always find a way to win. If they haven't already taken a lead on you, it's either the bottom of the 8th or bottom of the 9th, or they come through and make it happen. But in the same sense, I'm curious to see what would happen if we went up to Canada to play them there.
Yeah.
To see if that type of magic carries, or
Well,
if they played on their field, how that would turn out.
I wonder if, because since they play you guys in like preseason tournaments, I mean, up in Canada, it's snowing.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
they play indoors. They practice indoors.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Do they play like all their games indoors until it thaws out?
Yeah,
because it's
pretty
kind of
much.
hard to play with a white ball in snow.
Yeah, exactly. Unless they go golf style and make that ball orange or something.
Yeah, I remember my sophomore year when I lived back east, we had gotten a blizzard 2 days before soccer and lacrosse tryouts started, and they were
Pass.
the way that our campus was. The football fields, like the practice fields, there was a lower field and then an upper field that was just like a 5 or 10 foot hill you walk up.
Sure.
And on the lower field, lacrosse was practicing, and on the upper field, soccer was practicing or trying out.
Yeah.
And I remember our coach was making fun of them because they were trying out with white lacrosse balls in
It's a terrible
like
idea.
a foot and a half of snow.
Yeah, no.
And we were just laughing because, like, obviously with soccer balls, the ball is majority white, but it's got markings on it to be able to see
it's
it.
more distinctive in snow.
Absolutely.
I guess you should just make it like, just have them play catch with one another, and they'll, the people that lose the ball, you get cut. I don't know. I bet that was an interesting day though.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Yeah, hell yeah.
We couldn't really pay attention, although it would have been funny. I'm sure a lot of people also got hit too.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, hell yeah. They tried to play in snow when we had snow last week. It wasn't happening.
Oh, absolutely not.
We were like we were in the press box, about to get going, and then all of a sudden, boom, hail for like a half hour.
Yeah, that shit was gnarly.
Yeah.
I got sent home from work because it was so bad.
I believe it.
They were like, "Yeah, the roads are too bad. You guys got to go."
People are awful in Vegas
Oh, yeah.
driving in snow. I thought rain was bad.
Yeah,
Obviously, since snow is a lot more effective than rain, it got X amount of worse.
just getting out of the parking lot at work, 2 ambulances drove by.
Oh, I'm
I was
sure.
like, this is a nightmare. I
People
just
are
want to get
literally
home.
The worst. I don't understand how it doesn't. One thing that really pissed me off was more like people driving with snow on their cars. Like
on
their
the
car's
roof?
their car's been sitting under outside all night, getting dumped on the snow, and they don't have the foreknowledge. I want to say just smarts, because I don't want to call them dumb, but they probably are. But the foreknowledge to scrape said snow off before
Or they're
you
just
drive.
lazy.
Either way, that's a safety hazard.
Oh,
I don't want to
absolutely.
be driving behind somebody and there's snow falling off their car, especially chunks of it.
Absolutely. I've seen so many videos on YouTube about like ice flying
Yeah.
off of cars and
That's
hitting
bananas.
cars behind them and shattering windshields.
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
like,
crazy.
ugh.
Or people driving with like their entire back windshield covered in snow.
Yep.
You're just a jerk,
Yeah.
because that's a safety issue for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. They gotta have to do like a public service announcement.
Yeah.
Hey,
something that
it's
happens
snowing.
once every 10 years.
Exactly. That's why you have to brush start. Find that, scroll through your playlist or whatever, and play that once every 10 years. Hey, this is what happens when it snows outside. Your car will get covered in snow. Wipe off said snow before you drive and put other people at risk. But not one day, I guess. I don't know if it happens again in 10 years.
Yeah.
I was sick. Do you remember the last time 10 years ago?
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It was my second year living in town. I remember exactly like where I was. I was in school when it started, and I was in like a t-shirt and jeans or something. It was like the day after my birthday, and I just started throwing snowballs at people, and they were so angry.
I bet, dude.
And then I went home, and I had to go get my brother's Christmas present at the Rio.
Nice.
So I was driving. Everyone's doing like 20 on the 15, and I'm just weaving in and out. I'm like, all right, I grew up with this. I can drive.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm sure it's not nearly as aggressive as snow as that you're used to.
Yeah, I mean, back east they'll get dumps of snow. Like where I grew up, they'll get dumps of snow, but it's not like the north part of the country where it snows the majority of the winter.
Sure.
It like we'll get a couple snowstorms and they'll drop like 6 or 8 inches.
Damn.
But they're a month and a half, 2 months in between.
No, I guess that's not too bad, but still.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd have to I definitely don't have the temperament for snow. I like going to the snow for like a couple hours and then coming back.
I've seen 2 blizzards growing up back there, and one of them we were actually moving.
Ugh.
And yeah, the night before the blizzard, we emptied the majority of the house, and we didn't have any food. And then we got the blizzard
And you were stuck.
that day and then that night, and we were like, shit, we have to go to the store.
So who did you sacrifice to eat?
Luckily, nobody. I think my mom or her husband at the time went and got food.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was crazy. And then I remember one time I was in like middle school, I think. My mom actually came out here for a weekend, and one of her friends were watching us, me and my brother, and another blizzard came in, and we got the whole week off of snow, and my mom got snowed in here. Like, they weren't letting anybody land at the airports out there. So she got stuck here for a couple more days. It was crazy. We got a whole week off. I was like, yes.
And yet, here in Nevada, we gave the warmest day in the 10 days. After that snowfall, then you give them a snow day.
Yeah.
That was an awful snow day.
Yeah.
That Friday, it was like 50 degrees and breezy.
Yep. It was just because of the wet ground. They were afraid that there was going to be ice.
That or everybody wanted a 3-day weekend, so they saved it until Friday.
That's true.
You know.
Did you hear about what was going on the 15, the day after the snow?
I'm not sure.
I think it was that day where they closed down the schools. They shut down the 15 from from Jean to past state line because it was so foggy nobody could see, and there were a bunch of car accidents because nobody was paying attention.
That's awful, man.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I've driven that many times, but I've never driven it in that type of fog before. So there was a lot of low hanging clouds. So I definitely believe that for sure. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was shut down for probably like 6 or 8 hours.
Well, I'm glad we weren't traveling on that day.
Hell no.
No, I ain't got time for that. If I have to travel via car more than 6 hours, I'm flying. Period. End of story.
See, I'm the opposite way.
I'm totally bougie, dude. I'm not doing it.
I'm the opposite way. Unless I have to be there by a certain time, if I can take my sweet ass time, I'll more than gladly drive.
No, man. I do not stop. If I'm driving from here to San Diego, it's about 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
Roughly about 4.5 hours, and I'm straight shot, no stops, no bathrooms. I'm just going, turn my music on, and I don't hit the brakes until I make it to my destination.
Yeah. See, one day, like I've driven cross country multiple times. And
I
it's
know you
a lot
have.
of fun.
Nah, dude. I would be so miserable.
Well, okay. It depends. It depends who you're driving with, if you do any stops, or if you're just going straight through. Like I've driven it 4 times, and I've done 3 different types of travel.
Sure.
Like I went one with my mom when I was in high school. I did one with my uncle in college. Did a lot of sightseeing on that one.
Nice.
And then I did 2 by myself. That can get a little long.
I bet, dude.
But one day I want to actually drive down to LA and take the PCH all the way up to Seattle.
That'd be cool.
That'd be dope.
That would be sick.
There's a train that runs that whole coast. It takes like 36 hours.
Isn't that the one that that got stuck on the snow the other day? You hear about that?
I heard a train got stuck, but I didn't actually read the article. Was that it?
I don't know if it's the same one, but it was coming from... Actually, I think it is actually coming from up there to LA. I know it got stopped like outside of Eugene or something like that, or whatever, because of the snow, and they were on there for like a day or whatever. People are getting off of that. So American. So I'm starving. The food ran out last night. Shut up. Relax.
Oh wow, they were stuck for 37 hours.
That's not bad, dude. I could sleep 37 hours and not need food.
I mean, when there's little kids on there.
Well, get out of my cabin. What are you doing in my cabin? I rented this cabin. I'm gonna crash if I want to. I bet, but in the same sense, I bet it's like being stuck on a plane for 37 hours, but with more bathrooms and more place to walk around.
That's true. You could get up and do a lot of walking.
Yeah.
So, it's not too bad. You could always just go outside, play in the snow, make some snow angels.
I think they're like safety issues like, nah, we lock you in. You're stuck in this thing until help arrives just for safety reasons, Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure what Amtrak's policy is, but I would imagine that is about a par for the course.
Yeah, so this is that train. It was going It was going from Seattle to LA.
There you go.
Yeah, that sucks. But hey,
just through Oregon. You get through Oregon, you make your home free.
Exactly. You just gotta get through the snow.
You've been on a train like that?
Yeah, I when I was younger, I want to say I was like middle school, early high school. My grandma took me on a train from DC to New York.
The trains I've been on are more like trams, like
Yeah.
airports or
Yeah.
Disneyland. Those don't really count.
No.
I've never been on like an actual train, especially like or furthermore, especially like a state to state type of thing or whatever.
They're interesting. It legit is like the same speed as if you were driving. Like to drive from where I lived in Virginia to where we were going in New York, it's roughly a 5 to 5.5 hour drive. It took us about 4.5, almost 5 hours to get there.
I believe that. If they ever build that, speed train from here to LA, man, I'd shoot.
Oh,
Who wouldn't jump on that thing?
The only weird thing with that is that when they were talking about doing like test runs for a couple years, they were only going to build it halfway. Who's going to drive halfway, leave their car for whatever duration of a vacation they take, and then take the train the other half? Because they were talking about
I'd just fly.
They were talking about putting. I want to say they wanted to put the stop in like in Barstow, I think, or whatever that town is right after Barstow.
If Barstow's economy was hurting, if they put that in there, it'd be jumping. Because I bet there are people out there that would do that.
I was going to say, have you been to Barstow? It might be hurting.
Yeah, they have one of those Tesla charging stations. You see that one? It's like 50 of those charging things. Out there, it's huge, man. It's as big as the gas station, if not bigger.
Damn.
That's cool. Because I always wondered, those Teslas only make it like, as far as my knowledge, they only make it like 200 miles or whatever.
It depends on the model, I think.
Exactly.
I think this top model that they're trying to put out, it goes like 300 or 400.
They said they have a coupe version that's like
the Roadster.
Yeah. Or whatever.
My god,
dude!
Did you see the speed on that thing?
Yeah.
0 to 60 in like 1.8.
Bang,
Why?
dude.
Why?
Because that's what a battery does for you, man.
What street races are you going to be doing needing 0 to 60 in less than 2 seconds?
All of them. Just think about that. Someone's going to dump $200,000 into a Lambo or Ferrari and not have a single chance against one of those roadsters.
Could that be considered PEDs?
It should be, man. It should be.
That was the same. There's something I had brought up beforehand, like is smoking weed a PED for an eating contest?
I don't see why not, dude.
I would say it was.
If anything, it gives you the metabolism to burn all that a lot faster as well. At the same time, you're gonna just blindly just chow down on it.
Oh yeah, you're gonna destroy that food.
Which is crazy to think about. I don't know if they still eat prior to that, if you could do that, or if you literally just save it all.
You would have to time it perfectly.
Yeah.
And smoke right before the competition.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be wild, dude. I don't know.
I would be interested in seeing like a 3 or 4 person eating challenge where they're all high and see.
And what do they eat? Like Flamin' Hot Cheetos? Because that'd be funny.
Yeah, it would.
I would hella pay to see that. Like $5, I'd pay to see that if I get a free drink. At the same time.
Yeah, no more than 5. Outside of that, I could probably just get a couple friends high and hand them some Cheetos
and just see and just watch from a distance. And just be like, all right.
Oh, yeah.
All right, there you go.
Set up a hidden camera.
Give them all individual bowls of just small bowl of Cheetos and just see who finishes there first.
Yeah.
And you play little side bets on it.
But would you do the regular Flamin' Hot Cheetos, or would you do like, isn't there like the double XL Hot Cheetos or something?
The Flamin' Hot are, I mean, they're not bad and they're not terrible or whatever, but I can't imagine it getting...
Like, would you do
doubling or tripling up on that thing? Or whatever.
Would you do it strictly for heat, or would you do it for flavor too?
I don't know. I'm totally for flavor. I like to enjoy my food. If I'm burning my mouth and sweating and like crying at the same time, then I'm not probably enjoying my food.
Oh man, speaking of like sweating and crying and not enjoying food, the Blazing Challenge.
Dude, I don't know if people do that, man. The hottest I eat is honey barbecue. Anything higher than that, it's not comfortable for me.
Do you remember the time I talked Mike Johnson into doing it?
Dude was dying.
Yeah, he only took one bite and he sat for
Absolutely.
3/4 of the football game with his mouth just shoved. He had his lips just shoved in a cup of milk.
Damn, that was it, man.
Dude, that was hysterical.
I couldn't. I give credit to people who can do it.
I did it once.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how you do. I don't know how you people do it because I can't do it. I don't even want to try it. The smell of it is like my.
I will say when I did it the first time. See, I've only done it once, but the day that Mike did it, I ate a couple of his wings.
Yeah, because they were there and he already paid for them.
Exactly.
Screw it.
Exactly. I almost just ate them so that he would feel worse.
Oh, these are pretty good.
It was pretty funny. But when I did it, dude, I'll never forget. I was with like, I don't know, 15, 20 people from my football team.
Nice.
And as I'm eating it, the waitress is standing next to me, and she's just trying to crack jokes the whole time to make me laugh and not be able to finish it.
And stone-faced.
Yeah, she's just like, "Oh man, your asshole is gonna burn tonight." I was like, "Well, too bad. I'm winning this."
That's not your concern.
I was pissed though when I finished it. The dude came up to me and he's like, "Oh, that's awesome. Here's your shirt. Bad news is camera's broken, so you don't get your picture on the wall." It's like, what the fuck? I'm coming back tomorrow then.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, "No, if you come back, you gotta do it again." It's like, hell no, I'm not doing this.
No,
I'm
forget
out.
you. Yeah, no. Then I want everybody's meal to be free. You take a picture of me, or everybody's free. That's the rules.
Oh man,
That'd be sick. Now I'm hungry.
yeah.
No.
I'm assuming since you work in the movie industry that you watch the awards.
I did. Well, okay, I didn't get to see them live because for the fourth year in a row, I closed on Sunday night, so I didn't get to watch it. So, but it was on Hulu, so I watched it on Hulu.
Oh, okay.
And it was cool.
Was
Very
it
cool.
streaming on Hulu or did they just place it afterwards?
Yeah, it's afterwards. They had like the red carpet things, and then then they had the actual whole award ceremony or whatever. Surprising. I didn't think Green Book would pull it out.
I was just gonna ask, what'd you think of how it unfolded? Did you think everybody deserved to win what they got, or were there a lot of big upsets? Because
I think because they're at that point, no matter who wins, they deserve it because their recognition to that point is awesome, and they wouldn't be nominated if they weren't deserving of it. In my head, granted, I'm not the one nominating things because in the same sense, like Marvel don't get awards for nothing, aside from Black Panther.
Yeah.
But, they've put out a ton of amazing movies, But I was favoring Roma. I thought Roma would have pulled it out. They won Best Foreign Picture, what I guess is the best way to appease
and the
Roma
director
fans.
of that won Best Director.
As he has, a couple times. I think it's the second time winning that thing. But I thought Roma was just great artistically. As a film, it was gorgeous, Did
that come in theaters or was that straight to Netflix? Because I had never heard about it.
It was strictly a Netflix thing, but the producers of that only gave the rights to like small theaters or a very select amount of theaters because to be nominated, it has to be in theaters somewhere.
So it's probably only like LA and New York.
Exactly, maybe like 3 or 4 theaters each. I'm sure it might have been up to 100 at some point, but in the same sense, they're not. It's not as much as Black Panther,
Right on.
But yeah, most of their views definitely came through Netflix, where I watched it, and I thought it was awesome.
I still haven't seen it. Is it? So it's 100% in Spanish, right?
Yeah,
with subtitles.
Well, like 95% Spanish.
Because I remember
subtitles.
every time it was nominated, they showed clips and it was all in Spanish with subtitles. So I wasn't sure if that's how the whole thing was or not.
I could see why it didn't go. Or they probably didn't kick it out to theaters because in theaters nobody would have seen it. This is one of those movies where you have to want to see it, have to want to watch it. Otherwise, you're not going to enjoy it. Everybody who probably did see it and it wasn't their cup of tea probably thought it was boring and it didn't go anywhere and it didn't have any plot to it. But if you take it for what it is and enjoy it for what it is, it's a story about who would be like normally a background character, the maid inside of a middle class family's home. That's not your main star in any American type of film,
Yeah.
But that's who was front and center of this one, and like I said, just visually it was gorgeous. I thought he did a really good job shooting it. It is slower paced because it's more for the art, I think, of filmmaking.
Yeah.
And the way the details and everything was laid out, It was awesome. I recommend it, but in the same sense, you have to enjoy those type of things, type of films to really appreciate the way he did it and the way it was executed and the way her performance was. I thought it was cool. It was rough and it was heavy and deep, but cool.
Right on.
Very cool.
And she was up for
Best actress.
Best actress.
Yeah. First movie ever.
Yeah, that's what my girlfriend was telling me last night. I think she basically just plucked out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? She could have had that type of real life experience before, to a certain extent, and that's where she took it from, and that's why he picked her. And it was literally just a glimpse into somebody's life, as if it was a documentary. Here's several months of this person's life. Here it is, and there you go, enjoy it. But done in a way that was very visually cool.
I don't know. If that didn't win, who do you think should have won it?
I haven't seen the Green Book yet. I didn't think it would win, so I really didn't. I mean, I knew it won the Best Picture comedy musical at the Golden Globes. I was like, oh, cool. All right, I'll probably watch it then. But then now that it won the whole thing, I have to actually go watch it. So I guess I would assume that it was awesome. I hear it's awesome. Everybody said it was awesome.
I've heard it was really good. I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, no, but obviously Black Panther was awesome. Black Klansman was awesome.
I saw like the first 10 minutes of it, but it was using one of the apps on the Fire Stick.
Sure, yeah.
And the edition I was watching was just so dark. I was like, all right, I gotta turn this off. I can't see anything on this picture.
For it to come on Netflix or whatever and watch it. It was cool, man.
I heard it was really good.
It was really, really cool. A Star Is Born was awesome. That has to be one of my favorites, just for obvious reasons.
Is that favoritism, or is that because it was good?
Definitely favoritism, but in the same sense, solidified favoritism, because she killed it. Gaga killed it. I thought she was great for the role that she was in.
Yeah,
and the way she played it was cool.
And I don't think anybody could be surprised that she won Song of the Year.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, that was a great song.
Absolutely, and that's what she's known for. So it better be the fucking best.
Bang, yeah, absolutely. But in the same sense, she got nominated for Best Actress right next to Glenn Close, and Olivia Colman from The Favorite. I mean, I was like, that's high praise, man.
Oh, absolutely.
That's high praise to get up there.
Was that her first or second movie?
She's been in like 4. She was in Machete Kills. She was in. What else was she in?
This is the time where we pull up IMDb.
Yeah, exactly. She's been in at least a couple.
The hell's her name? Oh, Lady Gaga.
Yeah. I also like that she was known as Lady Gaga. Like, she didn't, once she started acting, she became Stephanie.
I was just going to say, what the hell's her actual name? I don't think I've ever heard it.
Something Joanne Germanotta. Very Italian.
Stephanie Joanne Angelina Germanotta.
Yeah, wicked Italian. But yeah, I'm glad that she's not known as that, as Stephanie Germanotta. She's still Lady Gaga.
Well, that's because she had to... When she was starting her career, she had to come out as something crazy. Mm-hmm. Remember when she came out as the Egg a few years ago?
Dude. Smart. What other acting credits do you have?
Let's see.
I'm trying to think. Now I can only think of Machete Kills. Now it might be just those two. But I swear, I'm a bad fan for not knowing.
Terrible fan. Oh, she was in Sin City 2.
Oh, yeah, huh?
And
let's see.
Let's not choose any of these smart ones or small ones.
Oh, obviously American Horror Story. She was awesome. Not a movie necessarily, but
no,
she
but
does have acting credits. Yeah, with the entire season.
Yeah, that's a big acting.
She was awesome in that.
I still have never seen any of that show.
I only watched that season, American Horror Story Hotel, and it was awesome. I thought it was really cool. But in the same sense, I'm still favorited. So yeah, I guess really looking at it now, besides all of her music videos that she's kicked out and her role on The Sopranos, she was girl at swimming pool number 2.
See, are you looking at IMDb?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at here too, and it's literally listing every single thing she's ever appeared in.
Yeah.
So like Jimmy Fallon, Super Bowl halftime show,
Yeah.
Super Bowl pre-show. Like, it's literally listing everything, and I can't figure out which one's an actual movie and which one's not.
Yeah. So far as I can see, though, yeah, I guess she only has 2 really movie credits.
She was in Bones, apparently.
That's kind of cool.
Pretty Little Liars.
But yeah, not a whole lot in the acting realm, and then boom, your first starring role, you get nominated, just like the girl from Roma, obviously. So they did well, and I'm sure that's just casting more than anything. You have to, if you cast them in the right role at the right time, bang, there you go. Very cool. Did you see A Star Is Born?
No.
Yeah, it was cool.
I don't think I saw anything that was nominated except for
Black Panther.
No, I don't watch superhero movies.
Oh yeah, you don't like those. Oh, that's right.
The only one I saw that was nominated was Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, cool.
Great movie.
Very cool. Didn't think he'd win.
I absolutely knew he was going to win.
I thought he was great. I didn't think he would. I didn't think he'd win over who else was nominated at the time. But credit, awesome. He killed it.
And to think now he has won an Oscar in half the time it took Leo.
True, man.
He's winning the Oscar in his 20s.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think I don't know how old he is, but yeah, I thought he was good. I thought he was really good.
Yeah, that was a great movie. I haven't seen it since the weekend it came out, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that Live Aid scene at the end was sick.
Oh wow, he's actually a lot older than I thought he was.
How old is he?
He's 37.
Yeah, he's up. Oh yeah, he's up there then. Yeah.
Does not look it. Middle Eastern genes.
For real, straight Egyptian. And he said he was like first generation American. I was like, that's wild.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's crazy to see where he came from. First thing I ever saw him in was Need for Speed. Yeah, exactly. I want to say that came out 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Everybody said Mr. Robot was a cool show. I never saw it, but
I never saw it either. I think he got that right after Need for Speed.
Well, it helped, man. I'm sure that propelled him to where he is today, and then some. Now he's going to get looks everywhere, left and right, man. You win that thing. That's all you need. You have as many Oscars as Leonardo DiCaprio. In not as many movies.
Yeah, exactly.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Glenn Close though. Her 7th time nominated, not getting nothing. She got beat. Olivia Colman was. You didn't say The Favorite, but The Favorite was cool. Definitely another one of those not meant for wide audiences. But I don't know. I'm a film buff, so I enjoyed pretty much all types of film.
I was a lot more in. I love watching movies, but I was definitely a lot more into them when I worked at the theater.
Oh, definitely.
It was a lot easier access.
Straight up.
And it being free, that was fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
I think in the 3 years I was there, I saw every single movie that came out.
Absolutely. You have to, man. It pays you pennies, so you better go enjoy the free movies out of it.
You got to get something for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, speaking of the theater, how do you feel about what they're doing now with the limiting?
It is what it is. I don't have a say in it. I just have to keep a smile on and try to make the most out of corporate change. Because it's like every corporation goes through changes at some point, or another, and things like that. So you just keep going and just enjoy what you have and try to make the most out of it.
Were your employees pissed about the ticket limitations?
Oh, definitely. I'm not pleased with it totally either. But in the same sense, it is what it is. There's no changing it. There's no arguing it. It is what it is. Yeah. And just like every corporate office has the ability to make changes for everybody below them, that's what happens, and that's what it is. So you just keep a smile on and keep going. It sucks.
The bullet.
Exactly. It definitely sucks because. But in the same sense, I get an idea what or how they're doing this or why they're doing this, because in the same sense, all those free tickets the company paid back at the end of the year, and so you're writing a check for a couple $1,000,000 for all the free tickets you gave away, and all the stockholders at the end of the year were like, we need to stop giving away all this free money.
Well, they need to understand.
I think I agree. But
that was the only perk of working there.
Exactly.
And now they just limit it because it's 2 tickets a month or 2 a week, something like that.
A week.
2 a week. Oh, that's not that bad. I thought it was 2 a month.
Yeah, no, a week's not bad.
No, because do you have time to go see more than one movie?
sometimes not even one, you know. But in the same sense, on the slower weeks, I have time to go see 3 or 4, and I can't.
Yeah,
you know, I'd like to see him maybe toss it around to maybe like instead of 2 a week, 8 a month, and then you can use them whenever you want in that month.
Yeah,
you know,
that would be good.
And it's the equivalent, you know, as 2 a week. Just you could use them whenever you want. And so if you know you're gonna go see a movie early in the month, you can see it 2 or 3 times, and go see them later on.
Is it 2 tickets a week or 2 movies a week?
Two tickets.
Okay.
Yeah.
They can still bring like family and friends, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. But like I said, it is what it is, and you just keep going.
Yeah.
Then you can't argue it.
At least they didn't fully take it away, or else there might be some uproar.
Exactly. And so I mean, who knows? And that might just be a temporary thing till they figure out the budget everywhere else. Because like I said, it's a new company that bought this company, and they're still
when did they buy it?
Things out like a year ago.
Oh, okay.
Give or take, if that. Honestly, if that.
Yeah, so they're still getting
fresh
into the swing.
Yeah, exactly. So who knows? Maybe in a year or two it comes back, and then you're right as rain. And then, but in the same sense, you're like, well, I don't need 2 tickets a day at that point.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah, people just get used to it, and they're like, oh, well, shit.
Who knows? I just know that I enjoy it. I like working for the theater. It's a lot of fun. Whether I'll be there the rest of my life is to be determined.
I was going to say, DC.
It doesn't seem likely at this point, just because I have vested interests in other areas, and I really enjoy multiple things that I do, and I'm always open to new experiences. But at the same time, at this point in time, I really enjoy it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be there.
Right on.
That's cool. And like I said, I'm a huge movie buff, so I enjoy my tickets when I can go see it.
What's your favorite movie of all time?
Of all time, see, it's on my name tag, but I've changed my name tag a couple times. I think
that's why, since you guys get multiple name tags, you should just switch them out. Like have one say one movie and have another say another
I have
movie.
that. I have my first one was Interstellar.
Okay.
But in the same sense, because I couldn't put the entire list of movies I had on the name tag. So I picked Interstellar because I was thinking people would talk about it and be like, oh, Interstellar, yeah, I like that movie, things like that.
Yeah, Lost in Space.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude, Interstellar blew my mind, dude. Oh, my gosh.
I couldn't get into it.
I was so into it.
When there's that much just solo talking, I couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
It was just lost in space.
Yeah, you gotta eat up every single word, every single tiny detail. I was totally into that. My new name tag is The Prestige because obviously another Nolan film. I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan in general, and so anything he puts out, anything he touches, I'll go see.
I don't know if I saw that one.
Dude, The Prestige will blow you away, man. It's like food will taste better after watching it. Colors will become brighter, and your whole world will open up, man.
So it's a big mushroom trip.
Once again, it's Christopher Nolan, so you have to pay attention to the details of it.
Yeah.
Because you think you know what's going to happen, and even though it might happen, it doesn't happen the way you thought it would, and then all of a sudden it turns around and it kicks you in the face.
Yeah, his movies with like that he did while I was working at the theater, like Inception and Shutter Island. Those were insane movies.
Yeah, exactly. So The Prestige is basically early 19th century magicians out dueling one another in a rivalry, starring Christian Bale, Hugh Jackman, Michael Caine, Scarlett Johansson, and David Bowie. The whole movie is insane. For those listeners at home that know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But if you're around somebody who has not seen it, you need to drag them to watch it. Otherwise, because they've been living under a rock their entire life, Danny.
Yeah, I might have been under a rock or two.
I'm telling you, brother, you got to watch that film and tell me it doesn't knock your socks off.
All right, I'll watch it within the next 10 days.
I'm proud of you, brother.
I'll give you that. So
you'll love it.
Next Saturday, yeah, I'll watch it by next Saturday.
That sounds good to me, man. You'll love it. I think you'll enjoy it. It's wicked cool.
All right. Yeah, hey, if you got any more movies, I'm definitely down to watch some.
There you go. Start out with that one. That's your homework.
All
You
right.
watch that one. You let
give
me know.
homework?
Give me a 1,000-word essay on it.
Oh,
And
hell
then we'll
no.
go from there. You could knock out. You could honestly, if you had to, you could put 1,000 words down for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I just don't want to. I didn't.
Smart.
No.
This beer stays the same, stays equally as good now that I'm halfway through it.
Yeah, you enjoying it?
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I like the can. It's a cool can.
Yeah, that's why I picked it out. I was walking in, I think Lee's, and I was just looking for stuff I never had, and that can attracted my eye.
Sure
and I was
did.
looking all over it, didn't know what the hell the name was because there's no writing except for that one word somewhere on there.
Yeah,
Dynamics, I think.
Dymaxion.
Or yeah, Dymaxion. Is that? I think that's the name of the beer. I have no idea.
I don't know. Well, whatever. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So being a Padres fan, I've been meaning to ask you,
Very cool. It's a good time to be a Padres fan.
how do you feel about the getting Machado?
I think we're the only team that would have paid that much, honestly.
No,
I mean, but
there were a couple looking.
right. But in the same sense, nowhere would he would be the face immediately. I don't know. I don't see it, but I really enjoy it. I just enjoy the fact that we're spending money for the first time. We tried this whole thing like with Matt Kemp and all those dudes a couple years ago. Didn't work out well.
Matt Kemp went around the league.
Yeah, exactly. But we signed it. We reloaded a couple years ago. It didn't work out, so we abandoned ship like we do, and then we're well under 500. I think the last time we were 500, it was like we were like 40-40 2 years ago, or something like that. That was like the highest we were at 500.
Yeah.
And then it just downhill from there. But I do like that. He's going to play a solid third. The bat's going to be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Tatis will play short. He's going to come around as well. And if we can find ourselves an ace somewhere, Stroman, I heard they were talking about him. But I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But I'm excited. And the Padres are going to go to the brown uniforms this year. So no more blue uniforms. So OG, Tony Gwynn-esque brown unis.
Those shit Browns.
It's going to be sick, dude.
I was actually
But
kind
that's
of.
what San Diego is, man. Especially for where it is, near kind of around Old Town in that area. That's the vibe of it. And I think it's going to be sick.
I was digging their. I don't even know what color it is actually, like the tan and
Yeah.
blue that they have.
Yeah.
I was digging that, but going to that brown, ugh.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it looks,
They're the Browns of the West.
Exactly. We just go back to our roots, man. That's
Is it the brown and yellow that you're going to?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, man, it's a new look. But in the same sense, a lot of Padres fans wanted that 2 years ago. They wanted the Chargers to take the blue with them, and then for them to immediately start rocking the Browns as soon as they left. And now they're getting that that wish.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool. It sucks that the Chargers are gone, but I like that the Padres are still hanging around and still competitive.
Chargers left, but now you guys got another football team.
The San Diego Fleet, man, 2-1. Awesome. Are you joking me? Jaquan Gardner, the best running back in the league with over, he already has 2 games over 100 yards per game. Has the longest run and the longest play in AAF history. You're darn right, man. It's awesome. I love to see that. Playing at the old Q, now San Diego Credit Q.
Are they?
San Diego Credit Union Stadium.
Jesus.
That's where they're playing.
Is it because do the Chargers own Qualcomm?
No. Qualcomm, their sponsorship was done, and once the Chargers left, so there you go.
Oh, then it just went to a regular
Yeah,
name.
SDC CDU. I'm sure they got a discount
Oh, my
to put their
goodness.
name on it, But it's cool. It's cool. They don't get much attendance there, but they're 2-1 now, and actually the AAF championship game is here in Vegas.
Yeah, me and John were talking about that the other day.
Dude, you better believe if the Fleet are there, I'm going, man.
I was actually looking at tickets. When was this? I want to say this was Saturday,
Probably
maybe Sunday.
not bad at all.
Actually, they're quite expensive.
Bummer.
Yeah. But John was saying that it'll probably go down. But, I mean, championship games in 7 weeks, 6
Something like
weeks.
that. I don't know, man.
It's in middle of April.
Either way, the Fleet are there. I'm going to be there. I don't care what I have to pay.
When I was looking, it was last row of like the first section, all the way in the corner,
Sure.
was $160 a ticket.
Oh, I pay that. I'd hella pay that.
I was looking at it.
Especially see the fleet.
I was looking at it. If it was like around 60 or 70, I might pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I haven't watched any of it. No, I take that back. I watched like a half the other day, but that was it.
It's weird that it's the exact middle of what or it's exactly what you expect it to be. Not as good as NFL, but definitely better than college.
Yeah,
it's weird that it's that exact middle.
Yeah, this is basically like it's a developmental league for the NFL.
Straight up, the techniques are there and the formations are there, but the execution is not nearly as well as the NFL. But in the same sense, if if Bama were all of a sudden to call out the Birmingham Iron, the Iron would crush them, just like the Browns would. When they were saying all that jazz. There's no competition in that regard, and I think that's cool. And then we'll see what the XFL brings to the table next year when they jump in the same time of year.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. See if Vince McMahon can get the second go around to work.
Dude, yeah, they're gonna. Well, now with the success of the AAF, they're gonna need to be good.
Well, the success is iffy depending on with the stories about the money that happened after week one.
Oh yeah, they didn't make payroll, so they basically took a loan from that guy who now owns majority of the league.
Well, from what I heard, he was actually he was going to be going in on it anyways.
Well, there you go.
And it was just a matter of
he's probably just sitting there like you guys will need me. Don't worry, I'll be right here. I'll be right here.
From what I heard, it was a matter of just money not being deposited into players' accounts quick enough.
Sure.
So it wasn't. And like those two stories just happen to hit on the same day.
There you go.
But who knows
That's
what
cool,
the actual
man.
story is.
It's hella cool. I got a real kick out of it just to see, honestly, football back in San Diego.
Yeah.
That's where my heart is, and that's what's cool to see. And I like seeing that. And there's a couple Chargers on that team as well, and there's a couple Chargers around the league as well. And so I like following them. And obviously Nick Novak is the Birmingham Irons kicker now, and he went like 4 for 4 week one. I was like, that's cool. Good for you, Novak.
I don't know why he's not kicking.
He doesn't have the leg. He can't do touchbacks on kickoffs,
Yeah, but
and there's no kickoffs in the AF, so there you go.
Yeah. What's with that, they're onside?
I love that. That's
Was it
funny.
like 12 yards they have to get
It's
or
like
something?
It's like they're like 4th and 18 from like their 25. Something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, and if you don't get it, you're giving it to them on the 25. So you better be sure you got to play for it. It's cool, man. And I like that the 2 point. You have to do 2 points every time. Another thing Novak doesn't have to worry about.
Every time?
Every time? Yeah, you can't go for one.
See, since I haven't watched any of it, I don't know what their rules are.
Yeah.
And I was when I was watching it the other day, they called an illegal defense. I was like, what the hell is that?
Oh, I don't know.
And John was saying you can't blitz somebody who's more than 2 yards outside of the tackle.
That makes sense.
Or something like that.
Sure.
I was like, wow, that's...
Yeah, so no corner
strange.
blitzes, I guess. Unless that corner is basically a D end.
Yeah, he's got to come way inside.
Yeah. That's cool, man. I get a kick out of it, and I think it's only going to get better.
It'll be cool to see if it can grow, because right now it's only, 8 teams?
Yeah.
So...
But in the same sense, if the XFL brings in 8, you got yourself a mock bowl.
League.
Yeah, a mock bowl at the end. That
would be dope.
That'd be cool.
Is Vegas getting one of the XFLs?
I don't know, man.
Because they had one last time, right?
Yeah. They were the one. The gladiators or whatever they were. That was sick. That was cool. That was like the epic. They were the best, and then they lost. They were like the number 1 team, and then they lost in the championship game or whatever.
No, they're not getting one.
Bummer.
So it's Dallas, Houston.
Oh, you're stoked now. Look at you. Oh, that glow on your face.
Now I'm into it. Dallas, Houston, LA, New York, Seattle, St. Louis, I believe. It just says ST.
St. Louis makes sense.
St. Louis, Tampa, and DC.
So teams that already have teams. Weird.
Pretty much, except for St. Louis gets one back.
I think maybe that's why the AAF jumped out, because they're in places that teams, that there are no teams. Birmingham, Alabama, San Antonio, San Diego, obviously.
Yeah.
A lot of those random teams. But that'd be cool though. How many teams you said they're getting?
It's 8 teams.
Well, there you go.
Wait.
You got a 16 team season, and then
Yeah, 8 teams. The LA team is going to play at StubHub.
Cool. I guess.
It'll be interesting.
Chargers play at StubHub. It's a great stadium for what it is. It's
Yeah.
not a soccer stadium.
Yeah.
But it is nice. Been there twice. Both losses. Sucks.
Are you a jinx?
I don't know. Well, no, because I've seen them win. I have not seen them win in LA.
I was going to say,
But I've seen them win in San Diego many times.
You can't really be a jinx for them there.
Every game's a road game.
Yeah, I mean, last year they did better outside of the state of California than inside.
They lost. We lost the San Diego, the LA Chargers lost 5 games total last year. 4 of them were in LA. The other one was in New England in January, freezing cold after already going to Baltimore and smoking the Ravens the week prior.
Yeah.
You know, so which is just bothers me even more that the Rams got there. They did not deserve it. I don't care what any Rams fan says. They did not deserve to get to that game, and the way that they performed solidifies that fact that they did not deserve it. They were not ready for it. They were not qualified for it. They only put 3 points up against the Patriots in a dome after 2 weeks of rest.
So tell me how you really feel.
I feel the Chargers would have played a lot better game. Yeah,
but it's hard to argue that though because they're in 2 different conferences.
I'm just saying,
you can't really argue LA versus LA.
I can because we put up 28 points against the Patriots in Foxborough in the freezing cold in January after going on the road twice.
Yeah, but if LA didn't deserve to be there, then it would have been the Saints, who I think should have gone anyways.
Absolutely.
Because even without that nonsense of a play that didn't get a flag,
right on.
There was just so many bad play calls that ruined their chances.
I don't feel the Saints would have won, but I feel it would have been more competitive.
Oh, I think the Saints would have won.
I don't know, man. The way the way that the Patriots executed their defense against us, against the Chiefs, against the Rams. I don't see them allowing more than 14 points for the Saints.
But the Patriots only executed their defense against the Chiefs in the first half. In the second half, I looked up both games that the Chiefs and the Patriots played last year. The Patriots outscored them by I want to say it was 25 or 30 points in the first half. Mm-hmm. And then in the second half, the Chiefs outscored them by 40-something points.
Definitely.
It was insane, especially in the second game. They got, 30 points in the second half?
Something like that, yeah. They did a solid job, but with the same sense, when it came down to it, you gave the ball to Tom Brady for the first possession overtime. It's over, brother.
Yeah,
it's over.
He's something else.
But in the same sense, we knew the Chiefs' defense was suspect since week 1.
Oh yeah,
absolutely not. So
I think a lot of.
We beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead, so winning on the road is not our problem, thankfully. But winning in LA, the 4 times we lost.
Yeah,
I guess that sucks.
Because both LA played against each other. Obviously,
we played at the Coliseum. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, technically, same city. It's a home game. It's Jets versus Giants.
Yeah,
but
we lost 3 at StubHub and then 1 at the Coliseum.
Okay.
Yeah, so those were our 4 losses in LA, and then our 5th loss, or final loss, came in Foxborough. We won in Seattle. We won in KC, in Pittsburgh, and in Baltimore.
You guys had a lot of big wins down the stretch.
Absolutely, we won everywhere. Except Foxborough.
Especially in December.
We needed it, man.
Yeah,
especially that Pittsburgh game.
December was Pittsburgh, the Chiefs,
Denver.
But wasn't there another big game in December that you guys played? I thought it was against a playoff team. Could be wrong. I might be thinking.
We played Denver.
Might be thinking of things.
We got the interwebs.
Well, because you also did play Baltimore back to back, but
straight up, yeah. One of those last week. Let's see. So, December was December 2nd in Pittsburgh, and then home against the Bengals, at the Chiefs, home against the Ravens, and then at Denver.
And then at the Ravens.
Yeah, then at the Ravens again, which we should have beaten the first time. I don't know what happened. I was at that game in the end zone, and I couldn't tell you what was going on. I don't understand how they were so confusing, or we were confused by them. But in the same sense, it took us a while to realize that they're fast.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson. That was only a couple games into his starts.
And he only threw for like 150 yards. I mean, he's not throwing for anything. They ran all over us. So what do we do? Okay, you're gonna run. We'll throw 7 DBs against you, and let's see what happens. And then they do nothing against us in the playoffs. We go there, smoke them, and that's how you have to play it, though, I guess. And when you play that type of running style team, we did it against. We tried to do it against Pittsburgh. Against the Patriots. Didn't work out.
No,
so it's definitely not.
rough.
It's not for all of them, but it definitely works against a guy who can't throw, because Lamar Jackson can't throw.
Nah, not really.
And so if he's just gonna run, let him run. And then play 7 DBs against him and see if he can outrun 7 DBs, which isn't going to happen.
It'll be interesting,
especially
to see him next year as a full-time starter.
What should have been rookie year, Derwin James, defensive rookie of the year. That guy's amazing.
Some would argue.
I'm sure they would, but
he's good. But there were
elite. He fell to 17. 16 teams are that dumb. He fell that far, and we took him, and he's amazing.
Yeah, a lot of people fall. You never know.
That's true. Not Van Der Esch.
No, he fell.
Not that far.
Got him.
He was top 10.
No, he wasn't.
Weren't you?
No.
Oh.
I want to say teens.
Oh, well, either way.
I want to say.
And look what the production
16?
he kicked out for you.
Oh yeah, I thought he was going to be tops, and then at the end when Sean Lee came back from his injury. They were saying how they're going to sit Van Der Esch. I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Absolutely not. You know what I was thinking about, before the trade deadline was, I guess, which doesn't really make sense because his contract goes up. But I was like, I would totally trade you Jason Verrett for Sean Lee because you guys need a corner, at least one, and we could use a middle linebacker, and I would have traded you in a heartbeat.
As long as you're happy with the middle linebacker who only plays 3 games a season.
Well, you saw Jason Verrett; he only plays a couple games a season anyway, so he didn't even make. He tore his Achilles in the first week of playoff of team workouts in the beginning in the preseason.
Yeah, Van Der Esch was 19.
Oh, okay. Oh, dang, he did fall that far.
Yeah.
Oh, shenanigans.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, all right then. I guess people are overlooking. I don't know what they're picking up 1 through 10, but that guy's a player.
Oh yeah, I didn't think he was that good, but I was wrong. He's really good.
He's solid, dude.
He was at one point he was leading the league in tackles.
If you guys go to a 3-4 and you put those two in the middle,
see, I'm just for the last 2, almost 3 years, I've been out on Sean Lee. Sure. I want him gone. I want him off the books and get a different linebacker.
That's fine with me because we got Denzel Perryman coming back, and he's our middle, he's our rock. But in the same sense, Sean Lee could come in, get some snaps, and hopefully get himself a ring.
Let me ring up old Jerry Jones.
I guarantee if you got that trade. Hey, we give you like a 4th rounder for him, 4th or 5th rounder for him.
Who is it? Stephen Jones the other day said that when Oakland's making their pick from the Cowboys trade, he's just going to be sitting back watching Amari Cooper highlights.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
That's wild, dude. Smart. That's
absolutely.
That's good call on your guys' part. Came in and contributed.
At first, I thought that was a lot, but it definitely panned out, and I'm happy because that changed the team around. Without him, they wouldn't be going to playoffs.
Straight up, dude. Straight up, man.
Now to just get a throwing quarterback, I'm tired of Prescott.
You're stuck with him for a little bit, brother.
They're talking about giving him $20 million a year. Ugh.
I've been in the same sense. Who else are you gonna get? You can't trade for anybody.
I would rather.
Flacco's gone. He's in Denver now.
Nah, I wouldn't want Flacco anyways. He doesn't fit.
But in the same sense, he's your pocket passer. He is a pocket passer. He's gonna sit there. He's gonna make his reads and throw them. And that's what got him the Super Bowl, not making many mistakes. And
that and his fucking baller defense.
Obviously, the defense was what really got them there. But in the same sense, it's him not making mistakes to make the defense on the field more than they should have. And that's what Denver wants, because the Denver had a good defense at one point. They still have Von Miller and nobody else. So if they can reload on D and let Joe Flacco pick you apart if you keep him upright.
I'm interested to see how that goes because John Elway can't pick a fucking quarterback to lead his team to save his life.
Oh, no. God, no.
Was he
Case
whipped on
Keenum?
4 straight, 5 straight?
Yeah, dude. I mean, granted, he scored with Peyton Manning. That's all you need.
Yeah, but that was Peyton Manning.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like a team trading for LeBron James and saying, yes, we scored.
But in the same sense, I thought he was going to go to Houston. I thought the Texans were lined up for him. They were going to get Manning. They were going to make a run, just like Denver did.
Probably could have.
But then John Elway, old man's Peyton Manning, was like, hey, bro, you got a couple years left. I know what that feels like. Let me get you one before you bail.
Hey, man, you want some Papa John's?
Straight up, dude. And they got one. 200th win. Carries that trophy right out of the stadium and retires.
Yeah, dude, I was there. That shit was crazy.
I bet, dude. I bet it was.
Although I wasn't rooting for them.
No.
And I wasn't rooting for him because I felt like Osweiler got screwed in that whole deal. Obviously he's a terrible quarterback and he's getting way more money than he deserves.
Straight up.
But that year, he led them to the playoffs and then he got benched.
That's what happens. That's what happens, man.
He got benched for a quarterback who got benched.
That's what happens. In Denver, that's what happens.
That's so terrible. Just for that, I was rooting for the Panthers during that Super Bowl.
I love that video of Manning about to go up to the locker room. Like, oh, we got to take a knee. So Osweiler's like, oh, go grab my helmet. I'll take this knee for him.
Yeah.
And then he grabs his helmet and sees Manning run back. He's like, oh. That's funny. I like that video. I like anything that involves the dismay of any AFC West team aside from the Chargers. Which is why I'm stoked for the Raiders to come here, because now I get to see the Chargers once a year and not have to drive anywhere for it.
Your love of that team still astonishes me.
The Chargers?
Yeah.
Dude, I can't help it. That's all I've known since I was born. My grandparents had season tickets for over 40 years, and so every opportunity I got, I went down there. Me and my dad, my mom didn't really go, but me and my dad would go down there, and they'd give us 2 tickets. They'd take 2 tickets, and we'd all go, or it'd just be me. They'd fly me down there. I'd go to a game, hang out with my grandparents, and come back. That's all I've ever known, and that's all I ever wanted to know. And then they bail, Dean Spanos bailed. The team did not bail. Dean Spanos bailed. Took his team to LA. Made a profit on that team because he's definitely once that stadium opens up, that team's net value will skyrocket.
But they'll still be
the stepchild that rents out a room.
On the tier of LA teams, I think they're 3, maybe even 4.
But in the same sense, all you need to do is win one, and you're immediately up near the top. That's all it takes. Especially if we win one before the Rams. That's our stadium.
If you win one before the Rams, yes.
That is our stadium that they get to play in.
Well, Rams just went to the Super Bowl. Now you all got to step it up.
They put 3 points up at the Super Bowl.
They got there, though.
Doesn't matter. They got 3 points. They did not. They backed into it and then, put their tails between their legs and put up 3 points.
Yeah.
Chargers would not have done that.
Yeah, that was definitely a rough game to watch.
I enjoyed it. I loved it. I thought it was great.
You loved it because an LA team lost.
That's right. If any LA team is going to win a ring, it should be the Chargers.
But take out your Chargers fandom.
You can't.
As watching,
it's embedded in me. It's like you taking off that beard. You can't. I mean, you could, but it's still there. It's still there.
But as just watching as a fan, take LA out of it.
It was a boring game for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
It was rough.
For sure. But like I said, I enjoyed it for every single second,
Were
man.
you rooting for the Patriots the whole game?
No, I was rooting for the Rams to lose. I don't care who they were playing against. I wanted the Rams to lose, and I'm glad that they did. That's all that matters to me, man. I'm glad that the Chiefs did not win against the Patriots, and therefore, at that point, I'm glad that the Rams did not win after that.
I would have liked to see Patriots and Saints in the Super Bowl.
Straight up.
Just because, well, that too, but also because it was in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And could you imagine the city of Atlanta watching their arch rival versus a team that they thought they had a Super Bowl win against,
mm-hmm.
and then just got destroyed?
That's what happens. That'd be brutal. That stadium is beautiful, though, man.
Is it? Well, yeah.
Just for the pictures.
Looking at it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen
and
it.
stuff like that. Which you can only imagine what the Rams stadium will look like.
Yeah, that's
$4 billion.
insane.
$4 billion, dude. You're crazy.
I'm also interested to see how this one's going to be. What is this one even called? Like Las Vegas Stadium?
It's just Las Vegas for the time being until somebody puts a corporate
Buys the
sponsorship on it,
rights.
And who knows? Mercedes-Benz already has 2 stadiums. They got New Orleans and they got Atlanta. Who knows? Maybe they come
does
over here.
AT&T.
Yeah. So,
AT&T has the Cowboys and the Spurs in San Antonio.
exactly. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows who's going to put money on this thing? T-Mobile might throw money on that thing.
I was going to say,
they're right across the street.
It's probably just going to be like MGM Arena.
Which wouldn't...
Or MGM Field.
Yeah. Or
Stadium,
MGM
whatever.
Stadium, or Caesars Stadium, which I guess has a good ring to it, I guess, now that I say it out loud. But who knows? I mean, I'm sure they'll know in a year because they're probably... Granted, I'm not a professional engineer. I've never worked in construction, but if I were to guess, driving by it every day, as I'm sure both of us do, or at least near it, it looks maybe like 30% done, maybe at most.
Probably. I mean, it's got to be done by next
2020. So they got this entire year.
Yeah, so by next August it has to be done. They have 18 months.
Exactly. And
less than that.
Yeah. But they've got the bowl dugout for sure. And it looks like all the elevator shafts are up to this point. So now they're just steel beams around it.
Is that? I know it's a dome, but is it a retractable dome?
No. Yeah, closed, black tinted windows all over the top of it. Which would be cool. And they're doing that Arizona thing where the turf will roll in and roll out as necessary.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because they're also sharing with UNLV.
Smart.
And I'm sure they're going to host other shit, like Pac-12 championship plays.
Dude, concerts and things. Taylor Swift, she does stadium tours, Yeah. We got a stadium now that'll host you. Come on down.
It's going to be crazy to see what actually goes all in that.
That place is going to be jumping 24/7.
There's going to be so many activities throughout the year.
Straight up, dude. You might get a Final Four in there. Basketball is already huge here. You might get a Final Four in there at some point, and then who knows?
Yeah, definitely. And
I'm sure there'll be some motocross inside of it. Those monster truck
pretty much
rallies
anything
and
they
things.
use.
It's multi-purpose.
The hell is
now.
that stadium?
Sam Boyd?
Yeah. Anything whatever they use Sam Boyd for.
They said it's wide enough for soccer too, so you could totally play games in there as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So there you go. You do whatever you want inside that thing.
Well, there was talk last year or 2 years ago about them getting an MLS team here.
I'd go see that.
Hell yeah.
What would be cool though is I see like a UFC fight in there. Granted, T-Mobile is nice. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome. But for those mega fights, and those crazy bananas ones.
Well, it couldn't be the whole stadium because it would be way too big.
But if you were to do like a McGregor, Mayweather type of, I don't know what type of super fight you could create going forward, but you could put that type of thing in that type of stadium and sell the tickets.
McGregor, Khabib too. Although that's going to happen later this year.
But in the same sense, if you need extra seats for that type of scenario, there you go. It's right across the street.
Yeah.
No sweat, which is why all those, cheap motels and things like that dumped a lot of money in and try to get them up and going. That's why Palace Station probably dumped a lot of money to get them revamped because they know those hotel rooms are going to be needed.
Although I am with their whole setup, I'm a little annoyed at what they're doing with the parking, having it so far away.
That's what it is, man. There's so many warehouses and things around it.
But there's a much better spot right down the road that they could have put the stadium.
Sure.
It's literally 4 corners. They're all empty, massive lots, twice the size of the stadium. Mm-hmm. You could put the stadium on one, and the other 3 corners could all be lots.
Sure.
And they put it there.
And who knows what the city planner had at that time, but... Either way, it's still, even when the stadium opens up, it's still going to be, several years after where the entire surrounding area is accommodating to the stadium itself.
I think they're going to have to probably knock down some stuff.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm sure. Because those were all like warehouses and stuff that have been there forever, And I'm sure it doesn't take a whole lot of money to get them to bail, it's a nice settlement. There's an auto body shop like kitty corner to the stadium right there that's been there for as long as I can remember. I actually remember driving to work one time down that road on Russell, and then there was like a car inside the auto body shop sign. I was like, that's fitting.
Like on purpose or on accident?
Totally on accident, man.
Somebody crashed into the sign?
Crashed into the auto body shop sign. I found that so fitting.
Do you remember when Johnson drove into the sign of your apartment
I
complex?
I do remember that. I was shocked to find out that sign was hollow. It's literally on a pole, probably a 6-inch pole, and then everything else around it's just aesthetically pleasing and hollow. And he went right into that thing. And that was in his Beamer, in his black Beamer. I'll never forget that.
Dude, I remember when he was telling me that story when I came over, like, it was probably the day after or a couple days after. Oh, my God, I could not stop laughing.
That dude's a monster. He's so funny. You know, I'm just glad he's okay.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
And thankfully, it didn't take a whole lot of money to repair that hollow sign. It was just a couple of pieces of sheet metal, you know, and painted. So it's all good. No harm done. But still wild. I've never met anybody that has done that type of damage until that point.
And with getting into minimal trouble.
Straight up. I'm proud of them, you know. Do an effective amount of damage, a noticeable amount of damage, but then walk away with it relatively scot clean.
Yeah.
You know. So that's not too bad. That was a wild day.
So when the Raiders get here, are you gonna only go to Chargers games, or would you go to other ones if the tickets were cheap enough?
If I was given a ticket, I will go. I will never give the Raiders money.
If it's like $50 on like a StubHub or something where second or third party purchase, you wouldn't give it to them? Because technically the Raiders would already have the money.
If I had nothing to do, I guess, and sure, probably, why not? I don't see why not. Would I go wearing Raiders gear? No.
Oh, absolutely
Wear a Chargers hat.
Those are ugly as hell.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that either.
No, absolutely
Just
not.
go wearing Vegas night stuff.
Yeah, there you go. I guess it kind of works out as well. That makes sense. But with a black Chargers hat.
Yeah, you could do that. Did they make? Oh yeah, that's right. You have that all black one, huh?
No.
What happened to it?
I took it to a movie. I left it in the seat. Came back. I called them the night of. They're like, "Oh yeah, we'll grab it for you. No problem." Came back the next morning. Oh, it's gone. What do you mean it's gone? It's gone. We don't know where it is. Well, what do you mean you don't know where it is? It was on the seat. I told you where it was.
Nobody went and checked.
Or somebody took it, you know. It was a really nice hat. And I literally just washed it like a week prior.
Another Chargers fan was like, oh, fuck, it's sweet.
Or it's just it's a sick-ass all-black hat, you know, and I really like that hat.
Yeah.
No, I can't find another one to save my life. But I'll find another one by the time the Raiders come around.
I was going to say, there's so many sites you can look at now.
I know, right? I got to do it. I'm also very not spending money lately.
Being frugal.
Yes, very, very frugal, you could say. But I'll find one, and then I'll wear the jersey, the nice jersey, and go watch them, I guess, if I had to, or if I was offered it, or, hey, box seats. Sure, I guess. Why not?
If someone offers you a box seat, you better go.
Yeah.
I'll slap you if you don't.
Did you? Oh, yeah, I'm sure you didn't see it, but did you see What Men Want?
No, I haven't.
It was actually really funny.
Is it similar to? Because I know like who's in it and who made it.
Yeah.
But is it similar to What Women Want?
Oh yeah.
Or
Is Same concept.
But is it more similar to that, or is it more similar to what was a movie with God damn it, the 4 dudes who met the 4 girls and they were going by the book, the Steve Harvey book.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see that one.
What Men Are Thinking, or something like that.
Something like that. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but it was like Mel Gibson's What Women Want.
Okay.
You know, that type of scenario. Obviously, a little more modern. But one of the scenes was like she's a sports agent, and she's trying to impress this guy that she likes or whatever, and she's like, hey, I got tickets to the Hawks game tonight, it's in the Skybox, would you and your son like to go? And the guy's face, like his eyes open up, and his inner thought is Skybox, you know. And I thought that was crazy funny, because that would have been my first thought as well.
Absolutely.
It was like Skybox, yeah. Oh yeah, no, sure, that sounds cool. You know, Skybox, oh yeah, no problem. But in your head you're like, hell yeah, Skybox.
Absolutely. I had that reaction a couple years ago when my uncle texted me, and he's a huge Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, the weekend of Christmas, while we're back east, my company has a box at the Redskins Stadium. It's Cowboys-Redskins game. And I was like, so what are you saying? He's like, well, do you want to go? I was like,
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Straight up.
And he was like, all right, you just have to do one thing. And I was in a bet with Jordan at this point where I was growing my beard out from preseason to the end of the season. And it was $1,000 bet. And this was Thanksgiving I get the call. So I only had to go 5 more weeks.
So close.
And he was like, you have to shave if you want to go to this game. I was like, are you serious?
And what'd you do?
He was like, you have to shave. I was like, fuck it, I'm shaving.
Straight up.
And I texted Jordan, and he was cool about it. He's like, oh, yeah, dude, that's awesome. I don't care. Whatever. We'll just call it a wash. Neither of us owe each other money.
Boom, there you go.
I was like, fuck yeah.
They won that game, right?
Hell yeah. DeMarco Murray scored with like 15 seconds left right in front of us.
Go Gales.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Vegas original.
That's right.
And now he's, where is he, down at Arizona?
Somebody, I think he coaches.
Yeah, he's a running backs coach, I think at Arizona or Arizona State.
That's sick. That's awesome. Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a very short commentator.
I tackled him one time in high school.
That one time he
he
rushed over you and you tripped him.
But he came at me full force. I wrapped up and we fell. That's a tackle, my friend. Tackled him. I don't care that he fell forward in that tackle. He did not proceed another 4 yards after I wrapped up on him.
Right.
So I count it.
I'll give it to you.
That's right.
You tackled an NFL player.
I tackled DeMarco Murray. He probably don't remember it, but I remember it because it hurt.
I doubt he remembers it.
That's all right. That's cool.
That was what, 12, 13 years ago?
That was a minute ago, man. Now I think about it, it's crazy. That was a while ago, you know?
Because you recently had your 10-year, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, 2 years ago. Shoot, 2 years ago. Wow.
Yeah.
I know.
So it was 13, 14 years
yeah,
ago.
I'm 07, so yeah.
Yeah, because I'm 09 and my 10 years this May.
You going to go?
No.
Oh, that's all right.
I talked to 3 people I graduated high school with.
Then you go mess around with those 3 if they're going.
Nah, they're not.
That's all right. It was a ton of fun, man. Well, I had a blast at my 10
What'd you guys do?
So they got you go to the game. Obviously, you go to the homecoming game. You mess around, you meet people there, and see them again for a while, and then you go to PTs right after the homecoming game, get a couple of drinks in you, have a good time. But then 2 days later, the Saturday night, my whole class rented out that one restaurant by the pool at Mandalay Bay, the Mexican restaurant. I don't know.
I've never been to Mandalay Bay.
Can't remember what it's called. Either way, they go there and rent out the bottom floor of the restaurant, and so you have a bunch of Gales in there just getting bananas, dude. There was at least 60 of us there. It was
nice.
Jumping, man.
I think my class is planning on renting out what the hell is that bar downtown with all the games? The one with life-size Jenga and life-size cornhole.
Oh, you're talking about Gold Spike?
Yeah, they were talking about renting out Gold Spike.
Well, I mean, everybody knows where that is, so I guess that makes sense. You know, which would still be fun.
I don't even know if they're renting it out though. I think they're just planning on meeting there. And I'm like, you're gonna have
good for Gold Spike then.
Meet there.
Yeah, that's not really
randos.
A thing. Yeah, no, we had a check-in table and name tags and things like that. Yeah, it was like a legit hour venue for the time being, and there were drinks. It was you get the first 2 drinks free, and granted a bunch of upper class private school kids dumped some money on them.
Richies.
Yeah, exactly. So we dumped some money on the table, and I'm telling you, man, we had a blast, dude. I really didn't think it'd be that much fun, but granted, our class is small. It was 250,
Oh shit! Yeah, that's nothing.
Exactly. So those 60 that came, we all knew each other. We know exactly what we're doing. So there wasn't really needed time to catch up. It was literally we're all here for one night. Let's just regardless of who our friends were back in the day, it doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, because now 10 years.
We're all here for the same reason, anymore. Just to mess around and have a good time and to see people we haven't seen in a while. So that's exactly what we did. We took full advantage of it. to the point where we were like, let's just keep this going because we got eventually kicked out of the bar at the restaurant.
Of course.
And so we went upstairs to whatever was, I think, the foundation room or whatever. And we went up there for a couple hours and we started to get more drinks and we were on the balcony and we're raging, man. I had so much fun that I don't even know like if they'll do like a 15-year thing, but I'm hoping they do.
I think it's usually like 10 and then 25, I think, is the next major one.
Dude, who knows, man? Whenever I get the email, I'm going. Because I had a lot of friends who didn't go, and we told them about it, and they're like, dang, I should have went. I'm like, you should have went. We told you to go. But in the same sense, this was like November 15th or 16th, something like that. So this is like two and a half weeks after, or I guess, no.
No, a month and a half.
Yeah, so this must have been, it was 2.5 weeks. So it must have been mid-October now that I really think about it, because it was right after October 1.
Yeah.
It was, and so nobody was going to the Mandalay Bay. And that's why a lot of people kind of backed out at the end, because we already had that place, or not me, but my class had that place booked prior to October 1. And then once that went down, a lot of people were like, I don't feel comfortable going there. It's weird or whatever. But in the same sense, everybody that worked there were like, thank you for coming, because a lot of people didn't want to go to Mandalay Bay at all for any reason,
Yeah, people avoided the strip so much.
Exactly. And so us going there and keeping our party there, they got a kick out of it. So we had a lot more fun. And like I said, we had a blast regardless of the venue, regardless of, we just tried to make the most out of it. And we sure as hell did, man. It was a ton of fun.
Right on. I just look up from looking at my computer and you're just
yeah, it's good times, man. It was a blast.
Yeah, I think they posted on my school's page. They were like, oh yeah, we just want to outdo last year's or the previous class. I think they had like a field day or something. They just met at a park and did games.
Sure.
I don't know.
I can dig it.
I didn't really talk to that many people at school.
That's all right.
I talked to basketball or football people, and then once I was done, I was talking to other people, and I hung out with like 7 people.
Yeah. Oh, all right then. Well, I bet those 7 people were pretty chill.
Oh yeah,
sure. There you go. What made you want to do a podcast?
Just because I'm planning on going back to school this summer for media and journalism.
Sick.
And
it's a good degree.
Yeah. And I wanted to get practice, like being behind a mic and working with this stuff and talking to people. And
hell yeah.
I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with it, but I want to do something in sports, whether that's, like sideline commentating or sideline reporting.
Sure.
Or just like the behind the scenes people. Haven't fully figured it out yet, but I'm sure once I start working with it and see where I'm gravitating towards.
Straight up.
Because my main focus is going to be in sports broadcasting and production.
Awesome.
So.
Well, shoot. I mean, you got the setup for it. At least you know how this stuff works. So that's awesome. Yeah. That'll help you going forward. And once you start jumping into classes and stuff, they'll give you new technology and things to work with. And,
absolutely.
And you'll find your niche as well. What would you like to do? What's you in 5 years? What do you hope you're doing?
That's the second time I've been asked that this week.
Making money in a different profession that pays the rent.
Exactly.
There you go. That makes sense.
No, just as long as I get into something in sports that I like.
Straight up.
I mean, it's cliche to say, oh, you don't work if you enjoy what you do, whatever. But I want to do something that I enjoy. That's why I stayed in video games for so long.
Straight up. How's that going, by the way?
Well, I'm actually not in that now. I do QA work for a convention company.
Cool.
Yeah.
Damn, I bet you talked to the shenanigans amount of people.
No.
Oh, really?
No. I work solo.
Oh.
Like I work in a cubicle. I don't talk to anybody.
So you need to talk to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you, man.
I got a lot just stored up here, and I just got to get it out. So.
Well, this is a good outlet for it, man.
Absolutely. So I'm just, I'm trying to get at least one person a week on, just talk about, whatever, just bullshit like this. Like I got a buddy coming on Next week, we're going to talk about UFC fights this weekend.
Sick.
You going to be watching?
Probably not. I'll be working.
Oh, dude.
I got 8 games in 2 days.
Dude, you're missing good shit on Saturday.
I know.
John Jones.
I know. It sucks.
Just make sure you're available for that. I think it's like July 6th. That card's going to be bonkers.
Those 4th of July weekend cards are always straight up bananas.
Yeah.
And so I'll do my best.
And as of right now, I'm praying. I'm super praying. And as of right now, everything looks to be lining up.
Cool.
That could be McGregor versus Cerrone and Jones versus DC. And that'll be DC's retirement fight.
Oh, man.
He said he's doing one more fight and then he's done.
God, I love DC. If it's him against Jones, I want him to win so bad. I don't know. I don't know how much off roids, how effective Jones will be, but I still feel like he's pretty darn tough.
I mean, with what he was testing, I don't think those did anything. With how little was in that, you heard how small the dose was. That's nothing.
Yeah, that's what kind of bums me out. That's why I want DC to win, but I know that's going to be crazy tough.
I just don't know what weight class they can make that fight, because DC won't fight at light heavyweight.
No, it's not going to happen.
And I want to see Jones at heavyweight, but I don't think UFC wants to see him there. Just everybody else wants to see him
straight
there.
Up, man. I don't know. Who knows, dude? I'm curious. Les is not going to do it.
I don't know. He's in the USADA testing pool.
He's
Have you seen
flabby.
what he looks like?
Yeah, he's flabby.
Oh my
and
god,
old.
He's lost all of his muscle.
He is all gut, dude.
Yeah,
he's like Roy Nelson 4 years ago.
Yeah. So as of right now, the talk is either Jones or Lesnar against DC for his retirement fight.
That's not your main fight, though. It's definitely McGregor and Cerrone.
The only thing, I mean,
you see McGregor's post that other day? He's coming, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's coming for blood.
Well, he can fight as of April, but I think he's gonna wait until the 4th of July card, because he just had a kid 6 weeks ago.
Straight up.
And he's got hundreds of millions of dollars
rolling in it.
Why rush into anything?
Nah, man. You get a lot 6 months more of practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know.
And I just love the argument. Like, everyone says, oh, he takes so much time off. He doesn't, like, he's going to come back super rusty. Like, I follow that dude on a bunch of social media. He literally trains every single day.
Straight up.
He is always fight ready.
That's all he is. He's a fighter. You know?
He's always fight ready.
He's going to do it, man, and I'll never bet against him regardless of his opponent. I'll never bet against him.
I just hope that he doesn't become what Ronda Rousey did.
Sure, that makes sense.
Be a great champion, get your head kicked off twice, and then you just fall by the wayside.
Sure.
Because, I mean, the last 2 years, or we'll go 3 years, he's lost 3 of his last 4 fights, 3 of his last 5.
Something like that, yeah.
I think his last win was against
Diaz and Khabib, and then obviously Mayweather. Those are those 3 losses.
Yeah, and well, that's with Diaz twice. Mm-hmm. So Diaz once, 1 win in his last 4 fights.
Sure, but those are monster fights.
Yeah,
you know, Mayweather
Plus,
won.
he was also out of his range fighting at 170.
Yeah,
like, what are you doing? You're a 145er.
Hey.
You're fighting 2 weight classes up.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I really enjoyed that Mayweather fight as well. I was so nervous and anxious the entire time watching that.
Did you bet on McGregor?
No, I didn't.
So why? Because you were.
I was adamant, man. Because I was full on McGregor. I did not doubt him. I still don't doubt him.
I don't
to
either.
this day. That's just one of those events, just like Mayweather Pacquiao. Granted, years after we all would like it to be, but in the same sense, it's one of those fights that you'll remember forever. You know, the one opportunity you get to see these 2 guys fight each other, which you never really thought would be possible. They're fighting each other when they can fight each other. Right after McGregor is on top of his game in the UFC world, delivering himself to the hands. Because we all know, one head kick, Mayweather's done forever.
He doesn't even
Mayweather doesn't stand a chance outside of the hands.
doesn't even need head kicks. Just kick the shit out of his legs.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what we all know. We all know that if it was a real fight, McGregor would destroy Mayweather without hesitation, and there's nobody in the world that would pull him off of him. But Mayweather needing a handicap goes the boxing route because he'll never jump into UFC. He needs the handicap to even be competitive to McGregor, and he beats McGregor.
Dude, I was so angry when he came out, when McGregor came out a couple weeks ago, and it was in the press conference for that fight he did over in Japan.
Yeah.
And somebody asked him about doing MMA fighting or like mixed martial arts fighting more than just boxing, and because he posted all those videos of training in an octagon.
No,
and then he was like, "Oh yeah, you can't believe everything you see on social media. All that's just bullshit." I was like, "Well, that's you posting it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get attention. Stop posting it if you know it's not happening."
Yeah, Mayweather's never thrown a kick in his life, and he never will.
No,
yeah, no.
He's
never
done.
pulled guard.
I think he's done.
Sure.
Pacquiao after his last fight was saying how he wants a rematch with Mayweather. I was like, bro, nobody wants to see that.
I'd pay to see it.
You would pay to see Pacquiao Mayweather too.
Pacquiao without a torn rotator cuff against McGregor or against Mayweather, like they are now. Yeah, I'd pay to see that because we know Pacquiao was a lot closer in that fight with Mayweather.
Honestly, I did not watch it. I went out of town that weekend.
Dude, it was a good fight. But, after the fight, after Pacquiao lost, he admitted to the fact that he tore his rotator cuff.
Well, of course.
And so he wasn't 100%.
He also got a lot of shit for that because he was supposed to say whatever injuries he has, and he didn't do it.
He's not going to because they got to make money. If you tell, hey...
I don't think they made that much off that.
They made a lot of killing on that card. I don't know. Not astronomical amount, but in the same sense, I guarantee they made a ton of money on that, to the point where he can fight, that Australian guy and lose, and it don't matter.
Dude, he got cheated out of that.
We all know that, and the same thing with the undefeated kid that he fought after that and lost. Pacquiao still got it, and I would pay to see Pacquiao Mayweather too. Hopefully, they're just both as healthy as they can be at their respective ages by the time that were to go down.
I don't know. I can't get behind that.
Hey, that's all right. I'll tell you how it goes at that point if that ever happens.
I mean, hey, if you want to buy it, I'm more than willing to come over. But I'm just letting you know.
Bring a couple more cans of this.
All right, I'll
Modern
buy some
Times,
beer.
And then we'll call it even.
I'll buy some beer and
shout out Modern Times. Not sure. Not sure what else you're about. Not sure what else are things you guys have to offer, but. Brewed in San Diego, cool can, good tasting beer. Shout out Modern Times.
So apparently, they did. Oh wow, they did 4.3 million pay-per-view buys.
That'll do it, brother.
And 55 million at the gate.
No joke, man. No joke.
But McGregor, Mayweather did a lot more.
Oh yeah. I believe that.
All right, man. Well, this has been a lot of fun. We've done over an hour and a half.
It's good times.
Absolutely. It goes by quick.
I'm glad you had me, man. This has been really cool. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for coming on. And hopefully we can get you on again soon.
I'll be around. You know where to find me.
All right, man. Thank you.
You got it. This has been Drinking with a Ginger.
Yeah, that was Devin. This is the Ginger. All right, everybody. Have a good night. I hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to follow me on all the social medias. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and you can find this channel on YouTube. Subscribe for more episodes. Thank you. Bye.